I've been a fan of Klons for a long time. And when I say Klons, what I really mean is clones, because I've never played a real one. But I've been a fan for a long time, and I've pretty much always had one on a pedalboard, whether that to be a solo boost or boosting other pedals, or even recently I put one on a pedalboard underneath the board just so I could have the buffer in the signal chain. I think a Klon buffer is really underrated just as a tone tool. And I suppose we will often see a Klon being described as a transparent overdrive, transparent boost, and you will often see them set up like this. Gain all the way down, and then treble and output between 12 and 1 o'clock. That seems to be the way to have a Klon. And if that works for you, then cool. But I made a little discovery in the past couple of weeks that's changed the way I use Klons forever. So my clean sound today is the Strat into the Victory V40 Duchess. And the Ryra Klon. Don't get me wrong, that's a great sound. That's great for a clean boost for solos. It's very transparent. It's good for boosting pedals. And this is similar to how I've used Klons for years and years and years. But I think a Klon is best used as an overdrive, or at least a gainy boost, I think. Because once you start cranking up that gain control, you start to get the circuit to work a bit more. I almost think of this now is the gain control isn't so much a gain control, but a mix control between the overdrive circuit and the clean boost circuit. And the more you crank up that gain control, the more you're juicing up that overdrive circuit. We're going to take things step by step. We're going to put that gain control up to about 9 o'clock, and we'll keep working it from there. We're still getting some of that transparency from the clean boost side, but we're starting to get a bit more crispness from the overdrive, a bit more mid-range, upper mids it is. And eventually you'll hear that as we do crank that gain past halfway, we're also getting rid of a load of low end. But let's take things up maybe to 11 o'clock. So. My mind how this is described as a transparent overdrive. There's nothing transparent about that. It has oodles and oodles of character, and you can really hear from where we had it previously, maybe the gain at like 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. An unbelievable difference, and that is such a cool vibey sound. And I bet you've not heard a Klon used like that before in a long time. Gone is that clean boost, transparent clean boost that we had at the start. This is rock and roll and character. It's got bite, it's got crisp. Also really unforgiving on the playing. You can hit everything, every noise, every scrape, every scratch that you're doing on the guitar. Let's crank the gain all the way, and then we'll wind it back to where it was before. I find that quite fascinating. You can really hear how the circuit changes and how it's bringing things in, taking things out as you sweep that gain control, like no other pedal that I have. When the gain is all the way down, we have a big bottom end. You know, it's not really doing much, I can hear, to the mid-range, and it's kind of got that clear top end as well. Transparent, I would say, but if anything, it's booming up that bottom end for me. And then maybe at 11 o'clock, you're starting to get a bit more of that mid-range come through, a bit of bite as well, but the low end is pretty much where it was before. And then when it gets from like 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock and even maxed out, you're shelving off a load of bottom end. You're really bringing up those upper mids that it's almost treble. It's just so many sounds in one pedal. Try a few more settings with your Klon, because chances are the most popular use for a Klon is that clean boost type thing. Just start experimenting with that gain control, crack it up a little. Where I've sort of settled with this is I have the gain maybe about 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock, treble up a little bit, and then output all straight up in the middle. I find this gives me a nice bit of crunch if I want to use it on its own, and a nice bit of top end as well, but also a relatively decent amount of volume and headroom to not only boost other pedals, but to use as a standalone volume boost if I want to. So let's start with it off. For me, that's at a point where it's only just starting to really change that mid-range. And that's where I like it. It's sort of leaving a lot of the bottom end alone, but bringing up that those upper mids. So it sounds great on its own. Let's stack it. Green side of the Brown Alps Protein. straddles a really fine line between compression and playing dynamics. I think when you hit it hard and when you're sort of rocking out with it, it sounds relatively compressed. You know, there's no massive peaks or troughs in the volume. You know, it sounds relatively the same, but when you start playing lightly and with your fingers, the volume stays the same, but the picking dynamics and the sound of it really changes. It's brought a new lease of life to a pedal that I've loved for years, or at least a circuit I've loved for years. Talking about the pedal that we've been using today, this is a Ryra Klon, Rocky or Repaired amp clone. It's pretty much my favourite clone that I've come across. J-Rocket Archer is also great. Thanks guys for checking out the video. If you like what you saw, please subscribe and maybe check out some more. And I'll see you in the next one. Cheers guys.